Hey guys, I'm Kelly Pally and you're watching Top 10 Nerd. Today we're jumping out of panels and into frames, taking a look at the top 10 best superhero movies. Now, minus one number on our list that we couldn't just pass up on, we're mainly looking at live action films. But please let us know if your favorite film doesn't get mentioned on the list, and let us know what it is in those comments below, and maybe we'll do a part 2. But for now, let's jump right in. In at number 10, we've got Batman the Movie. We're starting off this list with some good old campy fun. Have you guys ever seen the 1966 Adam West Batman movie? Here we have a product of Batman's odd transformation in the 50s and 60s due to Frederick Wortham's accusations about the character in Seduction of the Innocent. Luckily, it was just a phase for Batman, and the character went on to greater, darker things, but not without leaving us with this nostalgic gem. While some more hardcore fans might criticize the movie, the comic world actually owes a lot to it. It was the first big superhero film and introduced a lot of fans outside of comics the world of superheroes. However cheesy that world was at the time.
Their minimum objective must be the entire world.
At number 9, we've got X-Men. Bryan Singer's 2000 X-Men film was the first introduction of the mutant team onto the big screen, and was the start of the X-Men franchise at Fox, one that is still ongoing today. But more on that later. It also set the tone for the aesthetic that later X-Men films would have, a more modernized, sleek tone, especially with their costumes, and gave us some of our favorite portrayals of the characters like Magneto, Wolverine, Professor Xavier, and Storm. And really guys, Halle Berry. Let's just pretend she only exists in the Marvel Universe, please. Sorry, Catwoman. At number 8, we've got SpiderMan. Sam Raimi's Spider-Man trilogy started back in 2002 with Spider-Man starring Tobey Maguire. And while the third film was pretty damn lackluster, the first two were pretty great. But for the sake of this list, we're only focusing on the first one for our number 8 spot. It cemented on some iconic moments that have been riffed on ever since, including that upside down kiss in the rain with Mary Jane. And fun fact, before Raimi, who was a huge Spider-Man fan, was officially hired for the project, other directors were in talks to do it, including David Fincher, Ang Lee, Chris Columbus, and M. Night Shyamalan. Not too sure about that last one though. Up next at number 7, we've got The Dark Knight Returns animated movie. Here's some more Batman for you guys. If you're a fan of Frank Miller's The Dark Knight Returns, this recent animated adaptation of it is pretty spectacular. Director J. Olivia has a long history working on many fan favorites, including The Invincible Iron Man, Justice League Dark, and Young Justice. And that experience definitely shows. Miller's panels are translated beautifully, and it captures his aesthetic wonderfully. It's in 2 parts, with part 1 being ranked 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. Up next at number 6 is The Avengers. The Avengers, directed by Joss Whedon, who is a personal favorite of mine, really cemented the difference between Marvel and DC cinematic universes, and humor was a huge part in that. The film brought together characters who already lived in their own standalone films and meshed their worlds together seamlessly. It's also a film that has had impact on other stories in the MCU. In Netflix's Jessica Jones, there's actually a small subplot that features some very disgruntled New Yorkers still recovering from the trauma of the battle that the Avengers waged out in their film, which is just super cool, although it sucks for Jessica Jones. Oh, and it's also the 5th highest grossing film of all time. That's pretty damn spectacular. At number 5, we've got X-Men Days of Future Past. While the Fox X-Men franchise has proven its longevity, there's definitely some regrettable and subpar films that have been released over the years. This also includes Apocalypse. We will not be talking about Apocalypse, not even Jennifer Lawrence could save that one. Feel free to disagree about that in those comments. Anyway, Days of Future Past drastically changed the scope of the X-Men franchise. While First Class was also a huge hit, Days of Future Past managed to capture Marvel's intricate storytelling in a way that many other films have yet to grasp. And it also managed to play with some darker themes while not losing the charm that makes the X-Men films so great. In our number 4 spot is Deadpool. You know what's great? A self-reflexive superhero. He was funny, and doesn't give a shit about studio demands, or at least that's what he projects. Deadpool came out in 2016 starring Ryan Reynolds, and it immediately became a huge fan favorite. After Reynolds portrayed the character in box office bomb X-Men Origins Wolverine, he wanted to do the character right this time around.
Stryker finally figured out how to shut you up.
After years of development starting in 2004, the film jumped from New Line Cinema to 20th Century Fox, and the script was greenlit in 2014 due to fan feedback of some leaked CGI test footage. Deadpool was nominated for several Golden Globes, including Best Motion Picture, Musical or Comedy, and Best Actor for Ryan Reynolds. Also, that intro sequence. And at 3 is Guardians of the Galaxy. Another immediate hit, fans were first hesitant that a Guardians film could not be done properly, especially one that takes place in a locale that is so vast, but makes a fine dose of pop culture references, an incredibly charismatic cast of characters, and a 50 pounds lighter Chris Pratt, and turns out you have cinema gold. Director-writer James Gunn managed to create portrayals of a dynamic, disjointed group of anti-heroes, all while making it hilarious and heartfelt. Oh, that Peter Quill origin story, I almost teared up a little bit on that one. And how could you not love Baby Groot? Taking our number 2 spot is Captain America: Civil War. Some fans believe that Civil War is the best superhero film to come out this decade, and they may be right, or at least the numbers agree with that statement. The film's budget was $250 million, raked in a cool $1.132 billion US, and is the 12th highest grossing film of all time. If you haven't seen it, the film follows the feud between Captain America and Iron Man when the government demands that there be a system put in place to have superheroes be accountable for the damage they cause, which obviously creates a huge divide amongst our avenging friends. It's got nearly all the MCU heroes in it, including SpiderMan and Black Panther, but managed not to feel like an overcrowded jerk-off, and even gave audiences some unexpected twists, which is pretty damn impressive. And finally, at number 1 is The Dark Knight. This 2008 film by Christopher Nolan makes our top spot not only because it's one hell of a superhero movie, but because it's also the most critically acclaimed film on this list. It was the winner of Best Sound Editing and Best Supporting Actor at the Academy Awards in 2013, and was nominated for 6 other awards too. But what about outside the Academy Awards? It has a total of 178 award nominations and 103 wins. Damn. Nolan managed to capture the relentlessly destructive relationship between Batman and the Joker better than any other filmmaker has in a live-action movie. And let's not even get started on Heath Ledger's groundbreaking performance. Nolan is also responsible for giving the DC Cinematic Universe a much darker tone compared to the films Marvel is pumping out, something which some critics fear have harmed DC. Have you guys seen Superman vs. Batman? There's a reason why it's not on our list. Yeah. Anyway, so guys, what are your favorite superhero movies? And which ones are you super excited for that are coming out soon? Personally, I'm stoked for Wonder Woman. If you like this video, make sure you hit those like and subscribe buttons so you never miss another nerdy list. But for now, I'm Kelly Pally for Top 10 Nerd, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.